Let me give you 4 reasons why I think he's the best man for the job. Okay, number 1, he had the ability. If someone were to really go and study life, you need something. It's called wisdom. Did Solomon have wisdom? Absolutely. I mean, God gave him wisdom, right? He asked for wisdom and he got it. He was the king of Israel, first of all, a man in authority, and secondly, he was a man of wisdom. So he had the ability, number 1. Number 2, he had the time. Agree? I mean, if I were to ask you to go and study life now, do a deep study of life, do you think you got time to do it? He had the time. Okay, he was very free, in other words. The Israelites were already in the promised land. The temple of God is already built. So this guy had a lot of time to study life. Number 3, he had the resources. What was he famous for? His wealth. He's got lots of money. He's got lots of resources. Anything he needs to study, he can study. Okay, he had a lot of resources. Number 4, he also lived at the right time. He lived at the opportune time. What was the period in which he lived in Israel? What was the period? It was a period of peace in Israel's history. After King David's glorious reign, Solomon took over and there was peace in the land. He was living at the right time. So he started his search for the satisfaction in life. Best man for the job. And as usual, he gave his conclusion. I, the teacher, was king over Israel in Jerusalem. I devoted myself to study and to explore by wisdom all that is done under heaven. What a heavy burden God has laid on man. I've seen all the things that are done under the sun. All of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. What is twisted cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. I like that phrase, okay? You watch this phrase. What is twisted cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. Remember that Solomon was a believer in God. He had God in his mind. And he understood that behind all this apparent mess in life, God is still there. But Solomon is not sure if God is that concerned. He knows God is in existence. He knew there is a reason for all things in life. But God in His sovereignty is not telling us why. So in total bewilderment, in total frustration, Solomon had concluded that God has laid a heavy burden on man. And God has laid a heavy burden on us. He alone knew why, but He's not telling us. So what did He conclude? He said, in regards to life, He said, what is twisted cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. What does that mean? Let me illustrate it for you. The best way I can illustrate this would be, think of a big jigsaw puzzle. That life is like a big jigsaw puzzle. Okay? There are many, many pieces about life. And what Solomon is saying is that he's trying to put the jigsaw of life together to find out what the picture of life is all about. That's his quest, okay? But he discovered that he could not. He could not see the picture. You know why? Because there's a missing piece in the pile of jigsaw pieces. So no matter how you fit, there are some missing pieces there. And because of those missing pieces, the whole jigsaw puzzle ended up twisted and out of harmony. Are you with me here? He knows there is a missing piece, in all of his wisdom. Even though he wanted to see what life is all about, there is a missing piece. So he say what? What is twisted cannot be straightened. What is lacking cannot be counted. How to count when it's not there? There is a missing piece somewhere. And Solomon is also saying that God knows what is this missing piece, but He is not revealing it to man. Therefore, you find that in life, there can be no satisfaction, no fulfillment. That is Solomon's conclusion. And God is so sovereign, He's not telling us why. Even the way that God is being addressed by Solomon reveals his concept here. Take note of this. More than 30 times, Solomon used the term God as Elohim. The term Elohim emphasizes the sovereignty of God. But the term Yahweh or Jehovah emphasizes the personal God, the God who made covenants with man. Jehovah Rapha, right? Jehovah Nisi, etc. The God who made covenants with man, personal God. Solomon saw life from under the sun, but he also saw God as above the sun. Sovereign and all that, but not directly personal. See? Uninvolved in what goes on in life. Therefore, he concluded this. He said, I've seen all the things that are done under the sun, and all of them are meaningless, a chasing after the wind. Then, he goes on now to tell us how he arrived at this conclusion.